Fem4Forest project is a project financed through Interreg Danube program. And it's the whole title is Forests in Women's Hands. We have 14 partners. I'm a coordinator from 10 Danube countries, from Bavaria, Austria, Czech Republic, Slovenia, Croatia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Serbia, Bulgaria, Romania, and Ukraine. So we are covering quite a wide range of countries here in Balkan and eastern part of Europe, where forestry is a very important sector. It's an economic sector, but it's a traditional sector and it's dominated by men. So we decided to look what is the role of women in these countries, in forestry sector, of course. What is the status? So how many women are working in forestry sector? How many women are forest owners in this sector? And we first of all looked around what is the situation in our countries. And actually found out that we have different situations when we are talking about forests. So different share of forests from 60% here in Slovenia to less around 20% in Ukraine and so on. And it's the same also with forest owners. For example, in Ukraine, we don't have private forest owners. In Slovenia, 75% of forest is owned by private forest owners. And then we went also looking for how it's with women. And for example, in Croatia, we have only 6% of forest owners women. Here in Slovenia, we have around 40% of forest owners are women. So these are the different situations that we are looking at the moment.
So, and you have these results, or do you have also best practices and tools?
Yes, as I said, first of all, we were looking on the situation. So what data are available? So what we can just collect from these different statistics. And this is what I already presented. Then we said, okay, we have to hear women. We have to hear their voice. We have to hear how they feel in forest sector in our countries. And we made more than 1,000 questionnaires around all these countries among women working in forestry sector and among forest owners. And we got their feedbacks. For example, for me, it was interesting to see that there are still countries like in Croatia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, also Austria and Serbia, where more than 40% of women working in forestry sector feel that they are not equally treated at work. Then, for example, but in the other countries, for example, in Romania, more than 60% of women think that they are equally treated. So it's a very different situation in our country. So one of the results that we are already publishing now is actually this feedback from women working in forest sector, women forest owners, and also we questionnaire students. So those ladies who are at the beginning of their career, just entering the forestry sector. So we were asking them about the motivating factors, why they decided to study, for example, forestry. And so these results are already available. And through these interviews, we already did a few hundred interviews, more in deep interviews. We also collected the ideas for role models, because we said there are ladies working in forestry sector in all our countries who made their careers, who made a difference maybe in forestry sector, also forest owners, not only the professionals. So we selected more than 30 role models in all these countries. And we interviewed them and prepared their life stories. And as leaflets, and they are also available now. I will share later on the link to our web pages in chat, so that you can see there. So this role model should be some kind of motivation for younger people entering. Then we are preparing the mentoring program for young women entering into the sector, and the training, gender reflecting training program. And we are also looking what kind of initiatives we can start with in our countries.
Okay. And can you a little bit brief tell us about who and what helped in doing it?
Yeah, we were trying actually to involve, through our networks in our countries, because it's sometimes very hard to find women in working in forestry sector, but it was very interesting exercise actually in all countries. We look through our networks to reach out for not only for the professionals working in the forestry sector, but also for forest owners and so on. So we work through our networks. We also were asking all the institutions in our countries to help us with gathering the data, reaching ladies and in forestry sector. So that was the main idea, how to get out and how to reach them. And also now we will we will implement, because the project is still ongoing. We are just in the middle. And we will, in next year, we will implement the pilot activities. In each country, we will select what type of activities we would like to implement, training program, mentoring program, or we will establish a kind of network, for example, association of forest or women working in forestry, or we can implement, for example, I like the idea of forest walks, which they have already implemented in Austria for women in forestry. And the top of this, maybe if someone is interested, we are also trying to establish an umbrella international organization of women working in or involved in forest sector, not only working in forestry sector. So we started with this initiative together with the Austrian partners from Poland, Norway, and some other countries. We started the initiative to establish this international umbrella organization.
Okay. Thank you very much. Very interesting project.